Here they come, the World of Outlaws, 4 wide.
Chris Madden, Steve Francis, gonna lead them to the green. They tighten up in turn 3. And we start the Commonwealth 100, $25,000 on the line. Who's gonna take the lead? Steve Shaver up on the extreme high side. Francis takes the lead. Here comes Shaver. Madden falls back to third. Battle for fourth between Daryl Lanigan and Austin Hubbard. Here they come to the stripe. Steve Francis will lead lap 1.
Top 2 trying to run away in high day, but what a pack of 4 cars under a blanket. Madden on the outside of Lanigan. Now Lanigan may get sidestepped by Hubbard, but Hubbard is not going to be able to complete it. Eckert will go around his Bloomquist race car's partner, Scott Bloomquist. All the while, Shaver with a wild pony had to corral it out of 4.
3 wide there for a little bit. Here comes Shaver looking to the outside again, and he looks like he's got a great run off for 2. He's going to take the lead down the backstraight. Steve Shaver over Steve Francis. Here comes Francis back to the inside as they come out of turn 4.
An untried, untested Barry Wright race car running in that number 2 spot seems to be going pretty well right now. So with no laps to take anything from as far as notes go over the weekend, that car is set up and ready to race. Madden has got Lanigan cleared. Eckert again will go around Bloomquist. It's Austin Hubbard. He has free fall through the field. Third starter, Dave, is already now just about outside the top 10.
You know, we saw this last year with Chris Madden. It looked like he had put out an anchor, fell back because of tire choice, and as the laps came around, he came to the front. Don't know what tire choice they came up with, but both he and Madden's still up in third, but, you know, Austin may have gone to a harder tire choice.
And the other thing to look at, too, this is an open tire race, Dave. Just about 95% of the field on Hoosiers. 3 drivers on the American racers that we know of, being Brent Robinson, the 57J of Bummacool, and Jason Covert. Will that come into play later in the race as Shaver continues to run wild up front, just turned a 19.24 second lap.
Bloomquist, Eckert, Burkhofer were 3 wide coming out of turn 4. They are dicing, taking positions back and forth. Here comes Burkhofer to the inside of Eckert, trying to take that position away as Shaver tries to run away and hide.
Brian Burkhofer making strides early. He'll go to work underneath Rick Eckert. They'll bring that battle out of turn number 4 for 6. At the line, still Eckert, but by just 3/1000ths of a second that time.
Burkhofer down on the bottom, Eckert on the high side. Here comes Earl Pearson. He'll take a spot away from Jason Covert as well. Next in line for him is Austin Hubbard. Austin seems to be getting a good groove, although here comes Pearson just as I make that statement.
Yeah, EPJ has been slowly working his way up front as well, just picking them off one at a time. But still, the problems Tim McCready has suffered over the last couple of races continue to plague the Sweeteners Plus entry. McCready last car on the lead lap, and now only a straightaway ahead of Shaver before he goes a lap down. T-Mac's struggles continue here at BMS. And McCready just spun it. He got off the cushion in turn number 4, right in front of Shaver. Shaver went around the cushion. Francis went under it. T-Mac spins it in turn number 4. Guarantee you, David, he's going to come to the Sweeteners Plus crew attention. They're going to work on that machine.
Great racing so far, but remember, last year, Daryl Lanigan tried to go off and hide and didn't make it to the end. So, again, this becomes strategy, tire choice, and who's going to do what.
We're going back to green.
And here they come down to the stripe. Lanigan looking to the inside of Madden, side by side into turn number 1. Madden on the bottom, Francis up on the high side. Here comes Bloomquist in that number 0. He's big spin over in caution in turn 2.
Yeah, we've got 4 cars coming together. I see McCready take evasive action. Not sure who else is involved over there.
Landon goes way down on the inside as Shaver darts out to about a half car length advantage over Steve Francis, and they are bottled up behind him. Madden third. Fourth is Scott Bloomquist. Burkhofer and Lanigan side by side. Behind them, side by side, also is Eckert and Pearson.
Shaver flirts with disaster coming out of 4, way off of the cushion. A lot of drivers use it on their right rear to propel him down that front stretch, get a little bit of bite. But Shaver goes over the line. It seems to be working for him. Burkhofer's going to make a move. He'll go to work on Lanigan now for 5th. That battle goes into turn 3.
Back in the pack a little bit. It is 3 wide in every corner. They are throwing elbows coming out of the corner. Here they go down to the front stretch, back into turn 1. Austin Hubbard, Jimmy Mars, Jarrett Landers, Jason Covert, and Jason Fager all battling it out.
I'll tell you, if he can keep the leaders within sight, keep the tires on the race car, Jarrett Landers could be a factor at the end of this thing. He likes a track that will slick off. It is working to his favor right now. Yeah, Jarrett Landers is running in the 14th spot, but if he can just keep the tires on the car, meaning not abuse them, and keep the leaders in sight, he may have a shot at this when that checkered flag falls.
Well, the one thing when I talked to him earlier today is that he came here with no expectations. He's never been to Virginia Motor Speedway. He always does best when that happens. Tracks he goes back to that he's raced on before, he tries to drive it like a modified, and you just can't do that with these late models.
No bad habits with your first ever visit to Bill Sawyer's Virginia Motor Speedway, and sometimes that is a blessing. Like you said, come to a racetrack for the first time, you just come out of the box and you fly. So we'll keep our eyes on him. He did make a mistake that time and got off of the cushion, lost a couple of spots. He'll learn, but Bloomquist is going after Madden. Francis has caught the leader. Here comes the Colonel.
I'm going to tell you, great battle up front, Steve Shaver. And for someone with no notes on this Barry Wright, he sure has it running well up front. Steve Francis looking to take back the lead. Chris Madden holding back the leader of Team Zero, Bloomquist, right now. Good battle for third. Behind them in 5th is going to be Darrell Lanigan. Then it's going to be Brian Burkhofer and Earl Pearson.
Well, Pearson has stayed on the bottom, trying to conserve, keep the tires cool. Eckert in front of a battle between McDowell, Covert. Oh, look out. Clanton in more trouble. Shane Clanton's 2nd caution of the afternoon, and he is just not having a good day here at VMS.
I will tell you what, there's a great battle back there for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Those guys are 2 and 3 wide every lap. Jason Covert right now holding on to that top 10 spot.
But time will run out here shortly if they can't get that car back on the speedway. And Lanigan took a very strange line, and he'll go to work now on Madden for 3rd. Darrell Lanigan going for 3rd. Can't quite grab it. Pearson underneath Bloomquist, and Hubbard's got a scooter. He's going to be a lap down. He's going, but he'll be the last car on the lead lap as they are 4 wide out of turn 4 for 2nd.
Man, it's getting racy out there. I'm telling you what, I didn't expect 4 wide, but the track is widened out, especially in 3 and 4. Here comes Madden back to the outside, Lanigan to the inside. He wants 3rd. Bloomquist going up to the little bit of cushion we got right now, and out to the stripe. Madden's going to hold on.
You know the funny thing about this, a day race, when is the last time in a day show you saw somebody abusing the cushion, somebody right on the bottom where there's moisture, and a 3rd car right in the center groove? You're seeing it here this afternoon. They can go where they want to.
The track is very racy.
And Bloomquist made a mistake, and you don't see that very often either.
Jumped the cushion just a bit, got into the rough stuff. They keep moving it up. They're trying to move it up even further. But Steve Shaver, I'm going to tell you what, he is on a string tonight.
I'll tell you, it's another thing, too, David. I have rarely seen a track that slicks off have a cushion the way this one does. This is a phenomenal surface for these guys. They're enjoying it. They're using it. They're swapping positions. We got a heck of a race, and we're going to have a new leader if Francis can hold it down the backstretch. No, he can't. Shaver will keep it.
I thought Francis was going to keep the foot in the gas, but he thought better of it. Here comes Lanigan and Manigan side by side here on lap 20. Madden's going to hold on to the 3rd spot. Bloomquist back around Earl Pearson, trying to take back the 5th spot.
Kind of unusual to see Bloomquist ride a cushion around any racetrack this early in a 100-lap affair. He'll go low in 3 and 4, but he abused it up in 1 and 2. Is he just searching to see what's best? I tell you, you use too much right rear tire, you're coming into the pit area.
Yeah, I think you go up to the top. Maybe there's a little moisture up there to cool it off in 1 and 2. Maybe go down to the bottom in 3 and 4.
Well, we'll see how the line works out for him. It's working good right now. He's in the top 5. But Shaver, who swept West Virginia Motor Speedway last year with the World of Outlaws, is looking right now to get his 4th career win, his first coming at the Attica Raceway Park 2 years ago. So Showtime knows how to get to VP Fuels victory lane, but he's got a ton of tough customers behind him, and still what will be now 76 laps to go.
Man, what a race for the lead, Shaver and Francis. Where do you watch? Do you watch Shaver and Francis, or do you watch the battle for 3rd as Lanigan, Madden, and Bloomquist slug it out?
They are going at it tooth and nail. The gloves are off. What a great race for 3rd right now. Let's throw in a 3-car battle as Bloomquist right there with Madden and Lanigan. Earl Pearson Jr. is going to throw his hat in the ring, and Burkhoffer's trying to gain touch with those 4 cars. 2 separate battles going on right now, and they are both heavily contested.
Lanigan finally takes over the 3rd spot. Shaver, Francis, Lanigan, Madden, and Bloomquist as caution comes out. There is
debris in turn number 2.
Yeah. And it is in the racing groove. It's just right over the cushion. If someone was trying to use a cushion like Bloomquist, he would have run over that. So it is, they do bring out the caution. Bub McCool comes to pit road.
And Bub McCool now will get service. They're going to the right rear. So the McCool logging entry, Henderson Motorsports Victory Circle team, 74 laps to go in the Commonwealth 100.
Shaver, Lanigan, and Francis 3 wide as they get the green flag. Shaver, though, it looks like he's going to have the advantage coming out of turn 2. He will. Francis will fall back to 2nd. Here comes Lanigan and the high side hustler, Jason Fager, starting to put on a show.
3 different spots on the backstretch. They were 3 wide as they worked out of turn 2. You think the cushion is working? Oh, you better believe it is over there in the corners. They're using that on the top side. They're using the moisture on the bottom, and those drivers set up for the slick are going right through the center of the corners. We got ourselves battles everywhere we look, and right now, still Shaver, but here comes Lanigan. He's going to challenge the Colonel for 2nd.
Madden in the 44. Oh!
Look out!
Jamie Latham gets her sideways, almost turned her over.
Jamie Latham just about took the ride he was not looking for. 2 remain. Shaver out front. Will he be able to hold on for that $25,000 payday? 25 other drivers say, I don't think so. Here we go. Green in the air.
Bloomquist look to the inside of Francis at a turn 4 just for a second. He slides up, catches the cushion, gets back and forth.
Look at Fager trying to thread the needle between Chris Madden and Dale McDowell. He shoved it in there where it didn't belong. It didn't cost him anything. He actually picked up a spot, but what a daring move by Fager. Now he goes around McDowell. Jason Fager on the move.
Deja vu as Chris Madden starting to free fall through the field.
We saw this
last year.
Yeah, exactly.
But he goes to the outside of Eckert. He's trying to keep his position. It is Shaver, Francis, Lanigan, and Bloomquist. And here comes Earl Pearson to the inside of Burkhoffer for 5th.
Most of the drivers turning 19-second laps. Shaver, the only driver to turn an 18-second lap all race long, but they are staying consistent. The times are not falling off right now, which means the racetrack is in great shape. You see Burkhoffer, now he is side by side with Earl Pearson Jr. EPJ will take the number 5 spot away from Berkey. Lanigan is going to go to work again on Francis. Pearson will work on Bloomquist, Fager on Berkey, and Berkey says, all right, I'm going back after 5th.
Fager is starting to put on a show. He is fearless. I'm telling you, he'll put that car where I think other people won't.
They don't call him the high side hustler for nothing. He's right up there with Burkhoffer. McDowell having a very good run this afternoon, staying in the top 10. Hats off to Cat Daddy Clint Smith. He's just moved up to 11th. He'll close in on Chris Madden and Jimmy Mars. The Cat Daddy having a good run early.
The top 3 spots, Shaver, Francis, and Lanigan, they are battling it out for the lead. And just kind of sitting back in there in a rocking chair, it looks like, well, I say that, and he looks like he's going to make a run on Lanigan, is Scott Bloomquist in 4th.
Methodically keeping the field within his sights, not dropping off typical Scott Bloomquist style, about half a track behind early. He is keeping them within sights. He knows this racetrack is in good shape today, and he might not be able to recover from a half a lap deficit later on. So he's just going to stay right with this group, and it's probably a good idea right now because they would leave him if not.
I don't know if you've noticed, Rick, but these top three, each one of them is using a different groove. Shaver using the high side, Francis in the middle groove, and Lanigan on the low groove.
You see it right there in turn 2. They each have their own distinct line. No two driver alike in that top 3. Of course, it's going to change as the racetrack changes throughout the day, but they keep those 3 lines out of 4 too, Dave. You just got to wonder, is Shaver the smart one up there on the cushion? Is it cool up there?
I don't know, because here comes Francis. He's to the inside of Shaver, though. Shaver gets a good run off the corner, and he'll regain the lead as they head down into turn 3. Great battle for the top spot. Jimmy Mars starting to move up. Jimmy Mars gets to the inside of Chris Madden.
Well, the Iceman, no stranger to victory lane with the World of Outlaws either, so anybody in this race right now has got a shot. And I'll tell you, Jeremy Miller surrendered 14th to Jonathan Davenport. Could have been a lot worse. He jumped the cushion, looked like he was heading to the Armco barrier.
Again, good battle between Mars and Madden. That is for 10th and 11th spot, side by side as they come out of turn number 4. Behind them, a good battle with Clint Smith and Josh Richards as well.
Well, Richards up to the 13th spot right now as Lanigan again will work on Francis. Darrell Lanigan testing the waters down low. They keep the exact same line they've had every lap for about the past 10 circuits. It's worked for all 3 of them. They haven't lost, they haven't gained, they've stayed right where they're at.
Francis thinks he may have found something in 1 and 2. He gets to the inside. He pulls up beside Shaver each time as they go into the corner, but Shaver gets the better run off the corner.
Yeah, bread and butter corner for Steve Francis over in 1 and 2. 3 and 4, the forte for Steve Shaver. So for Francis to get the lead, you got to feel Davey's going to have the best run he can in 1 and 2. And that time he had a bigger advantage, but the car had no bite going into 2 and coming out of that corner.
Steve thought about doing a slide job, but then thought better of it.
Yeah, because that would have been ugly in front of a charging field. Plenty of time to get it done. 41 laps in the books, 59 to go. You can be content when you're riding second. When you're somebody like Josh Richards and struggle at BMS and you're riding 13th, you got to continue to go, go, go.
Shaver, Francis, Lanigan, Bloomquist, and Burkhofer, your top 5. Earl Pearson just outside in 6th.
And you take a look at Rick Eckert. Second in the points coming here to Virginia Motor. He sits 9th. Frankie Heckenass Jr. has called it an afternoon. He makes the ill-fated left-hand turn off the backstretch. And we are now getting close to halfway, just 7 laps shy of the cross flags.
Steve Shaver looks tremendous here in that Rumley-owned car. Now, that car has had a lot of success here, so it's not a surprise that he's running up front to me.
Yeah, that car's had a lot of drivers in it, too. Some 50 years, the Rumleys have been fielding race teams, and it doesn't matter who sits in that seat. That car, for some reason, is prepared correctly every time it comes off the trailer.
The top 3 still searching those lines. Shaver, Francis, and Lanigan battling for the top spot again, just sitting back there, it looks like, and waiting. Scott Bloomquist in 4th.
5 laps shy of the halfway point. Chubb Frank battling with Brent Robinson. Chubb has not had the rocket ship here this afternoon that he had on Friday night. Flat tire on Chubb took him out of a transfer spot through his event, and unfortunately had to take the Virginia Motor Speedway provisional this afternoon, and Chubb has just not been able to move forward. He has struggled here, Dave.
Good battle in the back. Austin Hubbard, Jamie Latham, and Covert. Yes, it is for 23rd, 24th, and 25th, but they are battling just as hard as they are up at the front. Hubbard holding on. Covert trying to get to the inside of Jamie Latham. And we need to remind the fans out there, we got bonus money for the top 3 regional cars as well.
That's right, the Neininger Tire and Auto Service bonus for the top 3 regional cars. David, there are 8 drivers available today to pick up that money. Chris Madden in 44, Steve Shaver in 6, Jason Covert in 43A, Jonathan Davenport in 49, Brian Burkhofer in 15B, Jimmy Mars in 28, Jeremy Miller in 1M, and Jamie Latham in the 6. Those drivers are going up for $250, $150, and $100 to the top 3 finishers, courtesy of Neininger's Tire and Auto.
Going to be 1 lap away from halfway as they come across the stripes. 49 in the books. Shaver with the lead. Steve Francis second. Here comes Lanigan looking to the inside of Francis as they come out of 2. Bloomquist fourth. Fifth, Brian Burkhofer.
So when they reach the halfway point this time, we'll give you a full field rundown. Steve Shaver gets the cross flags as your leader. Francis second, Lanigan third, Bloomer fourth, Berkey fifth. EPJ is sixth, Fager seventh, McDowell is eighth, Eckert ninth, Mars 10th. Then Madden's 11th, Clint Smith 12th, Richards 13th, Davenport 14th, Jeremy Miller 15th, Landers 16th, Clanton 17th, Fuller, McCool, and Chubb Frank round out the top 20. It's Brent Robinson, Tim McCready, Jamie Latham, Austin Hubbard, Jason Covert, and out of the event, Frankie Heckenass Jr.
I think everybody is trying to find which line they want, kind of conserve tire right now. Shaver, Francis, Lanigan still battling for that top spot. Shaver will continue to hold it here on lap 52.
Gotta wonder, Dave, if you're about 14th, 15th on back and we get a caution, do you come in, take the gamble, and go for fresh tires and see if it'll help you get a better finishing position? Because some of these drivers are struggling in towards the back. If they can stay on the lead lap and get a caution, would it be a good idea at this point, now that we're past halfway, to go for fresh rubber?
And if you do you go a little softer, knowing that you don't have as many laps left?
The closer you get to the end, I think you would. There's about 5 cars right now. Robinson, McCready, Latham, Hubbard, and Covert. They're going to be in jeopardy of going a lap down if we stay on this green flag run. With 54 and 46 to go, Dave, those first 5 cars at the back may have no chance of winning this Commonwealth 100 if they go a lap down to Shaver.
I am wondering if Austin Hubbard, something is broke. They were looking at the shocks to look like underneath that car when they were putting the tires on the last time, well, the first time they went in. And he just has not been able to.
Covert has problems. Jason Covert has pulled up lame in turn number 2. There's the caution we were talking about, Dave. 55 laps in the books. Now let's see if we have any takers on pit road. Austin Hubbard's going to be first.
Can Francis take back the second spot from Lanigan? Last restart he lost it. Here Lanigan on the outside now, and he is going to just cut right in front of Francis and say, I don't think so.
Yeah, he gave him no room to breathe that time going into turn 1, so Francis has to regroup and go after him down the back stretch. Little scrambling going on. Jeremy Miller starting to come to life along with Jimmy Mars. They're working their way through the field. Bloomquist now all over Francis.
Look at that black and green number 25.
Imagine that, high side.
Up on the cushion, Jason Fager putting on a show. 3 wide out of turn 2.
Jeez.
Burkhofer, McDowell, and Eckert. Here comes Jonathan Davenport.
Well, Davenport knows where victory lane is here at VMS. He's got a few cars to get around, and they're not easy. And Madden just got the door slammed in his face by Davenport. So if Madden wants to repeat as the Commonwealth 100 champion with now will be 40 laps to go, Dave, he's going to have to take the boxing gloves off. He's going to have to go bare knuckle.
Yeah, he's. I know what his strategy probably was similar to last year.
Right.
He knew he's going to probably free fall because last year he said he thought that he threw an anchor out. He didn't. He thought he was going to get lapped. He fell back so fast. He's staying in mid pack right now. He's still top 10. He's 10th currently. Jimmy Mars behind him, but he's gonna right now. Last year he had Davenport behind him. That's not a good thing.
No time to panic yet. 39 laps to go, but concern could be a factor. Earl Pearson Jr., on the other hand, he has not picked up anything, so EPJ's choice to surrender 6 might not have been a good one, short of the fact if he had a tire going down, that would be the only reason that maybe he should have come to the pit. David has not paid dividends.
They were 3 wide. Jeremy Miller, Shane Clanton, and Bub McCool last lap. And they are racing all over the track. I've been trying to see if Earl Pearson is working his way through the field, and he's passed 1 car.
Yeah, like I said, it has not paid dividends for him this afternoon. So surrendering 6, unless, like I said, he had a tire that was just down and couldn't go, and we didn't see, it did not work for him. Lanigan now has separated himself from Francis, so it's down to a 2-car battle. And I'm telling you what, the toughest driver in the country right now may be that black 29. He's won the last 2 outlaw events. This coming off of an illness to start 2011, which put him behind the 8 ball. He sure has recovered, and he's feeling good right now.
And Rick, that's one driver that loves a slick track.
And long distance. He loves long distance and slick. That's his forte. He's won a ton of money doing it that way, and right now he's in good shape to do it again.
And I'm really impressed. Steve Shaver has run a tremendous race here today as the top two now starting to pull away.
Yeah, they have separated themselves big time over third place Steve Francis, fourth place Bloomquist. It is a 4-second advantage for the lead duo over that battle for the number 3 spot between 4 cars. Now the thing is, yeah, Dave, these two are going to battle. They're pulling away, but they're going to catch slower traffic. That'll slow them down a little bit if they have any problems whatsoever getting around them. And the way they're running at the back of the pack, it's going to be a tough chore.
That they got the boxing gloves off.
And Jamie Miller's in trouble.
They're bare knuckle at the back.
We're going to get caution again. Caution is going to come out at lap 67. We are 2/3 of the way through the Commonwealth 100. Let's see if we have any takers on pit road now with just 1/3 of the race left. That could get interesting as we go back to green. So 66 in the books, 34 to go. Now 67 go on the scoreboard as the My Laps timing and scoring comes back to life, and we are green. And guess what? Bloomquist and Fager side by side for the number 4 spot. Fager with the advantage. He'll go to work on Francis.
Wow, he is up on the high side, looking around.
Oh, Berkey just threw the elbow to McDowell, and McDowell gave it right back. Wow.
Bloomquist moves Fager way up the track. Fager's going to take the spot.
You don't intimidate the high side hustler by throwing him to the high side. That's not going to do it. You're going to have to come up with something else to get him intimidated. And he pulls away from Bloomquist. Now both Davenport and McDowell, they'll go to work on the zero machine in 1.
That was a good battle right there between Davenport and McDowell as Davenport now pulls to the inside of Scott Bloomquist. Here comes McDowell to the outside.
Haven't heard much from the Mac Daddy this afternoon, but he's starting to make noise. Oh, Clanton again. Shane Clanton has had a day to forget. Clanton spins again in turn number 4. Clint Smith comes right to the attention of his crew, the Stray Cats. They're going to give him fresh rubber. And Shane Clanton is going to stay out on the speedway for more. Well, 70 in, 30 to go. The plot thickens.
Someone's walking away with 25.
That's a guarantee.
No matter.
That's a guarantee. There will be one driver that will win $25,000 today.
Shaver again leads them to the green. Francis, Lanigan, here comes Bloomquist back to the inside of Fager, trying to take back the 4th spot. Fager up on the cushion. I'll tell you what, he don't never let out the gas.
No, there is no brake pedal, I don't think, on the 25. It's all gas pedal in that cockpit as he goes to work on Francis. Francis keeping Lanigan within his sights, but Jason Fager having a run. Oh, and Eckert just shot right across the nose of Chris Madden.
I think Madden's taking off the gloves.
Yeah, Madden knows that he can't sit back. It's not going to happen.
Been a great battle between Davenport and McDowell. Davenport now has the 6th spot. McDowell now going to have to deal with Madden, and here comes Eckert.
Well, Jimmy Mars, who had run up to 11th spot, has got more problems. It's terminal on the Deppy Enterprises MB Custom chassis. He is done for the afternoon. Tough break for the Iceman. And I'm telling you what, Burkhofer, could this be the beginning? Burkhofer brings caution out. 72 in the books. 72 officially in the books. And Berkey brings out caution. McCready back in. Cat Daddy back in. Miserable day for Tim McCready. Number 4, 28 circuits remaining. Time to rock and roll.
Shaver, Lanigan, Francis head into turn number 1. Lanigan looking to the inside of Shaver.
Oh, it cost him that time.
Fager goes up high.
It cost him
a spot, and here comes Davenport.
And
3 wide, holy.
Look how Bubba Cool just shot by Landers and Chubb like he was out of a cannon. I think these guys figured if they've got some up their sleeve, they got to use it because Madden just went across the nose of Richards. We got problems in turn number 4. Caution is out. Richards jumped the cushion. Oh, my goodness. And that Jet, again, has trouble with turn 4. I tell you what, you talk about a driver that just had a horseshoe in his cockpit. That was Josh Richards. He was way over the cushion in turn number 2. That caution comes out and saved his hide.
Right. Green flag back in the air. Shaver brings him back down to the stripe. Lanigan going to fall in to second. Francis in third. Here comes Bloomquist. He's going to look to the inside of Francis as they come out of turn 2, but he can't pull the trigger. And I'm going to tell you what, McDowell was shot out of a cannon off of 2.
So's Davenport. He is now working the high side of Bloomer at turn number 4. Jonathan Davenport will now try the crisscross out of that corner. Doesn't pay off. He'll go right back in the tire tracks. McDowell and Madden, they go 3 wide with Rick Eckert in turn number 1. They are going after it.
Here comes Madden. He has turned the wick up, folks.
Imagine that. We're 3/4 of the way through and Chris Madden's coming. We saw this last year. Will it be a repeat performance? We'll have to wait and see. Shaver has pulled Darrell Lanigan. Steve Shaver may have just said, okay, I've saved a lot. You guys didn't know it.
This is amazing. I mean, to see this car do this many laps in, 76 laps now in the books. Lanigan, great battle for the 3rd spot. Francis having to deal with Bloomquist. And Davenport, Fager, Madden, and Eckert all working each other.
I'll tell you what, Steve Shaver has got himself a rocket ship right now. As the battle continues for the number 3 spot, Bloomquist to the inside of Francis. Nothing doing down the front stretch. He'll tuck back in line, go right back to work in turn number 1. There's still some movers and shakers in this field. Richards going to work on McDowell to try and grab the number 9 spot. He'll do it out of 2.
And he does. Looks well. You say that, and now McDowell up on the outside. Here comes Bud McCool, and as we talk, here comes Austin Hubbard.
I tell you, these guys are getting after it. You go over into turn number 1, 4 cars under a blanket covert. Hubbard, Chubb, Frank, McCool. McCool goes by Hubbard. Chubb goes after McDowell, and it's all Steve Shaver all the time up front.
One thing, Bud McCool is used to slicked over racetracks, being from Mississippi. This may be just up his alley. If he pulls the trigger fast enough, up on the high side, got a little squirrely, he'll back down just a bit. Austin Hubbard will take the spot back.
Yeah, Bud McCool's got himself a handful of steering wheel right now. He sawed on it all the way through turns 1 and 2. Car just totally got away from him. He's reeled it back in. Lost a lot of real estate in a couple positions with the exchange of that steering wheel. Darrell Lanigan's got a ton of room now between himself and Francis for second, but he is losing sight of Steve Shaver.
Shaver pulling away now from Lanigan. Francis still having to deal with Bloomquist. That's a great battle for 3rd. Davenport right behind him. Fager, Madden, and Eckert. There's a little bit of gap back to the battle for 9th and 10th with Josh Richards and McDowell. You got Chubb, Frank, and Austin Hubbard sitting 11th and 12th.
Fager just took 5th away from Davenport out of turn 2. Well, once again, look at the rear spoiler of the 0 of Bloomquist and the 15 of Francis. So Fager made a good move out of 2, paid huge dividends, got him the spot, trying to get a little bit further in the running order as 83 go on the scoreboard, 17 to go. And Steve Shaver right now is comfortable as can be.
9th on back, or stacked up like highway traffic at 5 p.m. And Davenport just gave Fager a little chrome horn, as they call it.
Yeah, and Madden just went by Davenport. They did a little pleasantries over in turn number 3, and he has cleared him now, so Chris Madden is on the move. He's really going to have to go because Shaver is in another zip code right now. He has left Darrell Lanigan, and he'll be able to see the rear of the field here in just another circuit or 2 and even work on him if we stay green with 15 to go.
Tough day. Jarrett Landers is falling back to 22nd place. Shaver closing in on him. Almost a full straightaway back to Darrell Lanigan.
Things are settling down now as far as drivers throwing elbows. They're hitting their lines, picking and choosing the groove that works. Bloomquist still trying to figure out Steve Francis for 3rd. Madden now going after Fager. There's Davenport after Madden. Just when you say things settle down, business picks up.
Davenport all over the back of Madden as they head down into turn 3 and out of 4. Francis has a back deck lid full of Bloomquist as they head back into turn 1, and Bloomquist just can't figure a way to the inside of Francis right now.
Francis has been a busy man this afternoon, going for the lead early, then trying to hold off Lanigan. Wasn't successful in that, and now has to hold off Bloomquist with just 12 laps to go.
Shaver doing a fantastic job here tonight. 89 laps on the board, 11 laps left here in the Commonwealth 100, the Napa of King William Commonwealth 100, $25,000 on the line, and we will know who'll get that check in 10 laps.
And right now, as it sits, David, your Neininger Tire and Auto top three sit this way. Leader Steve Shaver would get the extra bonus of $250. Second would be the 44 of Chris Madden, $150, and the $100 to Jonathan Davenport. Of course, still 10 laps to go, but right now the Neininger Tire and Auto bonus for the regional drivers goes that way, as your leader, Steve Shaver, just out for a Sunday afternoon drive. And guess what, Dave? It is Sunday afternoon. It finally worked. I finally get to say it at work.
I am very impressed with Shaver's run. Being out front, I guess you can conserve a little bit better than you normally would. You wouldn't think so. Everybody was pushing him there for a while.
Well, they always say it's one thing to catch a driver. It's a whole nother thing to pass him, and that rang true totally here this afternoon. Oh, and Madden drifted up the bank, and Davenport went right by him. Madden was going after Fager, lost the spot to Davenport. Now Davenport attacked Fager. Madden's back after Davenport. We've got 7 laps to go. They're not giving up here in the top 5. Shaver all the while working on the number 39 of McCready, trying to put him the first car lap down. And Scott Bloomquist, who cleared Steve Francis, now sets his sights on Lanigan with what will be 5 to go. Lanigan will be under attack from the Voodoo Child. The 5 to go signal is given for Steve Shaver. Bloomquist closes in on the 29 of Lanigan. Davenport has caught Francis, so still battles on the racetrack with just 4 to go. It's all Shaver all the time, but second is up for grabs, fourth is up for grabs, and Davenport's going after Francis now for 4th. Can't make it happen out of turn number 2.
Three laps to go. Laps are winding down. Shaver working lap traffic. Lanigan right now able to hold off Scott Bloomquist. Steve Francis now has his hands full with Jonathan Davenport.
And that's a pair of Barry Wright race cars going at it for the number 4 spot. The 2 to go signal is given. White flag the next time by for Steve Shaver as, Chris Madden and the 25 of Fager. They have decided to go at it tooth and nail with 2 to go. And Fager's gonna pay the price and spin in turn 2. Keeps it going. He keeps it going. He keeps it going. We're staying white flag. We're gonna finish this. Jason Fager recovered.
Bloomquist gets by Lanigan.
Lanigan
coming back.
This is it. Oh, trouble on Clan. He's off the pace. Checkered flag is gonna wave.